I am glad to see new faces as well as our old faces. Today Reverend Yu is here as you greeted in the lobby, and we are very happy to have him back. Together we'll practice various forms of meditation, beginning with Qigong, moving meditation, and sitting down we'll have sitting and chanting meditation. So please join Jason for Qigong meditation. Please all rise.
Good morning. If you could just grab your Tai Chi ruler. We're just going to spend a few minutes building a bubble of Qi around our being here. So we're just going to take this in our hands very lightly in our palms and just start to circle it. And when we go up, we'll be inhaling. And when we go down, we exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You could stand in any position that makes you feel comfortable as we begin this moving meditation. You can feel your heart opening. We're creating a bubble of Qi around us in all directions. Let your mind still as it focuses on the movement and the breathing. As your mind, body, and heart begin to come into coherence. At any time, you can switch legs as you feel comfortable. Inhale and exhale deeply. Let's see if we could slow it down even more. You can even imagine as your arms go out that you're offering somebody a gift from your heart. And when you come back, you're receiving it. See if we could slow down one more time. in Qigong, the slower you move, the more Qi you build. Okay, now if we could just put this down for a second. I'm going to try something slightly new. Imagine now that you have this bubble of Qi around you. I'm just going to allow you to be creative and explore it in whatever way you want. So imagine yourself in this big bubble, and you can just breathe and move around this bubble in whatever way you want. Just feel free to explore and go at your own pace, and just imagine yourself in this bubble of Qi and give yourself the ability to explore it and move in whatever way your body feels comfortable. Having a Zen mind or a beginner's mind, just being curious about this bubble and just breathing as you're moving. You can explore different parts, down low or high. Just see what it feels like to move around this bubble. Just having a child's-like mind. No attachment, just exploration. Now we're just going to come back to standing. And let's just take all of this Qi that we've just cultivated and bring it back and concentrate it down into our lower dantian. Mindfully placing it in our lower dantian and imagining a small pearl that's now condensed in our lower dantian. Now we could watch that pearl rise up like a bubble in water, floating up through our stomach, into our heart, up into our throat, and let it put a broad smile on our face. Our whole face is now smiling and shining bright like the sun on every cell in our body. I am in Qi, and the Qi is in me.
I am Qi. Qi flows as we join our palms together in front of our heart center. And as we continue our practice in bowing to the grace of the universe. So together we'll make 4 full bows. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite source of marvelous existence. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of parents, ancestors, and everyone who has given me life and nurtured me. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of fellow beings, embracing the truth of interconnectedness. With gratitude, I bow to the grace of laws, which guides us to develop justice and freedom through Dharma and universal principles. Please be seated. Let us make our body, our breathing, our mind be ready to enter the deep meditation samadhi as Kathy gives us the method of seated meditation.
Begin to relax into the body, feeling the weight of the floor beneath you. Release the shoulders, straighten the back, and breathe naturally. Taking in a deep breath, we allow a sense of trust to fill our lungs and slowly make its way down to the lower abdomen, resting fully in the energy that is gathered here. Keep the eyes half open and let the gaze rest approximately 3 feet in front of you. As we breathe out, we surrender to the moment as it is, with a mind that is alert and calm. If the mind becomes distracted or lapses into wandering thoughts, gently return your attention back to the breath. Beginners at seated meditation may suffer from aching legs. If your legs ache, you may occasionally switch their position and return once again to your breathing practice. If you continue practicing in this manner as a daily practice, through time you will ultimately remember the interconnectedness between yourself and other things, and you will forget time and place. And resting in the genuine realm of stillness and non-duality, you will rejoice in unparalleled spiritual bliss.
comes to meditation, there are many forms. Now please join us in Sutra Chanting Meditation, page 4. Page 4, 일원상 vow.
일원상 vow. Ilwan is a realm of samadhi, beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and lost the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened master, sun enlightened people, sentient beings, and one manifest as both permanent and impermanent, spirit as permanent. None falls into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is, viewed as impermanent. Say one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth, we transform through the six realms of existence, progressing or regressing, grace arising from harm, from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice sorority, modeling ourselves after one song, the Dharma Kaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies, deeply knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm. We attain the great empowerment of one, and become one with the nature of one. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practiced, Prajnaparamita realized that five aggregates are empty, and thus became free from suffering and distress. Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. So Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They do not appear, disappear, untainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, no consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of mind, no realm of ear, nose, tongue, body, consciousness, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no old age and death, no extinction of them, no suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, with nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva relies on Prajnaparamita, therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist, free from delusion. One dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on Prajnaparamita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that Prajnaparamita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true, not first. So proclaim the Prajnaparamita mantra, which says gone, gone, gone beyond, far beyond, now awakened. Gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha gate, gate, para gate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha.
Now let us do some gentle stretching together. Fingers together. Wiggle and massage your fingers. Move around your wrists. Push your palms out. Wiggle your hands. Push your palms up. And stretch your body side to side. Open your fingers, fingertips pointing upward. Breathe in, breathe out, release your arms down. For the past about 2 months, Reverend Yu, our retreat director, has visited Korea to finalize the translation of the One Buddhist Dharma books. Now he is here, he is back with those newly published books with him. Welcome back, Reverend Yu. Palms together.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to see my older Dharma friends. I was very busy in Korea to finish publishing these 3 books. Venerable Gyeongsan's book, New Translation of Ilwansang Vow, it's the collection of our founding master's story. And then Venerable Jasan's book, The Principles. The book cover of these 2 books, Kathy designed. A lot of people told me it's really beautiful. Yeah. Okay, I will tell about these books, this new translation later. Okay. Today I would like to talk about how to stay centered and calm, particularly when we encounter some challenging situation. Do you know the name of those 2 buildings, guest house over there? 2 guest house. One is a Timeless Zen. The other is a Placeless Zen house. So that's what I want to talk this morning. Some years ago, one American doctor visited the Korean headquarters. And he knew a lot of the benefit, scientific or medical benefit of sitting meditation. And he was very dedicated practitioner. But when he stayed in the headquarters, he discovered that one Buddhist minister do not practice sitting meditation than many hours. So he asked one day in the dining hall, how many times do you meditate? How long do you meditate? The minister replied to me, I meditate 24/7. So he was very surprised. How do you meditate when you eat or sleep? So when that minister explained what is meditation truly, what is the essence of meditation, he understood and he said, wonderful and wonderful. So what was his reply when that American doctor asked, what is meditation? According to our scripture, our founding master defined meditation in this way. Meditation is a practice for attaining freedom of mind by awakening one's original nature, which is free from mental discrimination or attachments. Meditation is the way for attaining freedom of mind. So it has little to do with sitting with the lotus posture, placing our awareness on our breath or bodily sensation, etc. They are the techniques to practice sitting meditation. Freedom of mind in whatever situation. Let's just think about that. You are having examination. Let's just say you would like to become a lawyer and you are having that bar exam tomorrow. You'd like to stay calm, peaceful, but you unconsciously become anxious. You cannot control your mind. Or when you are angry or upset, you do not want to become angry, but your mind goes in that way, very naturally or in a very habitual way. So attaining freedom of mind is having nirvana in our daily life. Particularly when we encounter some challenging situation, particularly at that moment, how can we stay centered and peaceful? That's what I'm going to tell. And that is the topic when you read the chapter of timeless meditation and placeless meditation. But would you read that quotation from timeless meditation? Yeah, the verse.
However, for people who are beginning to practice meditation, the mind is not easily controlled according to their wishes. It is like training an ox where, if the reins of the mind are dropped even for a moment, it will instantly hinder one's commitment to the way. Therefore, if you keep exerting yourself without letting go of that spirit, which is ready to fight to the bitter end, no matter how alluring the sensory conditions you face may be, the mind gradually will become tamed, and you will reach a state where the mind will do what you wish. Whenever one meets a trying situation, do not forget to keep the thought in mind that an opportunity for practice has arrived, and one should only check whether the mind is attracted to the situation.
Okay, thank you. The Dharma to practice meditation or having meditative state of mind in our daily life may seem very extremely difficult, but our founding master said, if you truly understand the method, it becomes very easy. So regarding the method, our founding master used the analogy of taming an ox, depending on the level of our practitioners, level of intelligence or maturity. The first stage of to control our ox mind is grasping the mind. Let's say when the ox is not well trained, then you don't hold the rein pretty tight, especially when it would like to go astray. So the point, how can you successfully control your mind, hold the rein in a very efficient way is, just as she read, do not let go of the spirit which is ready to fight to the bitter end, no matter how alluring the sensory conditions you face may be. For example, in some particular situation, when you are about to become angry or go to the old habit, it can becoming lazy or going to the addiction, whatever it is. Then, without letting go of the spirit which is ready to fight to the bitter end is the first key. One Buddhist minister, he's the direct disciple of our founding master. When he met our founding master's teaching, he was very seriously addicted to alcohol. And he started to be gradually overcome that kind of addiction. So whenever he passed by the bar, he's attempted to go inside the bar and have a couple of drinks. He called his name and he rebuked himself in his mind in order to hold the rein of the mind. So depending on the situation, it can be very diverse. Opportunity for practice has arrived. This is something you may heard a couple of times. Keeping this thought in mind is very, very important. The Korean word 염두에 있지 말고 means 염두 means the first thought. When you encounter the challenging situation, the first thought you remember is an opportunity for practice has arrived. For example, when you hear some irrational word from your boss, or you fight with your spouse, whatever situation it is, before you vent your anger or in whatever situation, the first thought is an opportunity for practice has arrived. So we casually say that you really drive me crazy. But as a practitioner, what are we supposed to say? You really drive me to practice. You really drive. That change of a thought is really, really important to enrich our daily life as well as our daily practice. One novice monk was asked to gather some firewood in the forest. By the abbot, and in the early morning, in order to reach to that wooded area, because of the storm, because of the heavy rain of the previous night, he could not reach the forest because there were so many scattered branches on the trail. So because of so many branches, I could not gather the firewood. That's what he told to the abbot. The abbot replied, "Why didn't you gather the scattered branches to get the firewood?" That's what I asked. So many times people say, because of this, I cannot practice. But that situation is the opportunity for us to practice. Let's just say a lotus bloom in a muddy water. The muddy water becomes a good nutrient for the lotus to bloom. So it is one of our ministers, when you order a check, on top of the check, it's written, it's not a problem, but an opportunity. Not a problem to an opportunity. We should keep that in mind. But in some particular challenging moment, the problem is it is hard to stop our mind, to bring our mind to a pause. So the thing is, how can we skillfully, efficiently stop our mind in a very challenging situation? Busan is the port city in Korea, and there is a very beautiful park, Taejongdae, which has a cliff. From the observation point, you can look down the West Sea, and the sunset is really magnificent. But it attracted a lot of people, a lot of tourists. The problem is from the observation point, many people jump themselves to kill themselves. It's a big problem to the city. So because of that issue, city council was held many times. What could be the best way to prevent suicide attempt? One person suggested, why don't we put some statue of a compassionate mother holding a baby? Think about your mother or loved ones. Or one person, actually that statue was built, but it did not work at all. When another person suggested, why don't we put some tablet which has some verse from the Bible, from the Buddhist scripture, telling them killing oneself is a serious transgression, and it didn't work at all. One person suggested, why don't we use just one simple phrase? People do not read long verses. And they put the stone carved with that simple one word. It really worked. It drastically reduced the suicide rate. That simple one word was a 잠깐만. Do you know what it means? 잠깐만. Wait for a moment. Wait for a moment. So when you drive your vehicle, when you go near the crossway, you need to slow down or stop your vehicle in order to not to cause a traffic accident. So stop our mind, bring our mind to pause is the key. In order to successfully to bring our mind to a pause, you have to remind that an opportunity for practice has arrived. But the technique, how you can deal with, how you can stop your mind is so diverse. For example, one novice had anger problem. The novice working in our third head Dharma master's office. So our third head Dharma master suggested a very simple technique. When you are very angry, take a deep breath just 10 times without thinking, without analyzing the situation. Or if the challenge is too high, or if you can change the environment, why don't you avoid the situation, change the situation. For example, just like other houses, sometimes my father and mother fought sometimes. When my father came home, when my mother was angry, she started to give a long lecture. Do you know what my father do in that situation? He just leave my mother and walk around outside the room, do some kind of a walking meditation, like 30, 40 minutes, and come back. And my mother start to calm down. So just working with our mind is not the best path. If it is possible, changing the situation is a very, very important thing. One of my friend, when he was newly married, he discovered his wife and his mother didn't get along very well. They had to live in the same house. So the daughter-in-law and the mother-in-law have to spend time 24/7. So he tried a lot of methods, it didn't work. But finally, he just asked, Mom, you have a lot of friends. After breakfast, why don't you go out somewhere and spend some good time with your friend? Come on, when I come back from work. So it really saved his marriage life. So if the changing environment is possible, so you can use that approach. When you encounter some challenging situation, there is a Chinese saying, when you know your enemy and understand yourselves, you can win a war 100 times in 100 battles. So when you encounter some difficult situation, you can make some mental load. This is a challenging situation. This is a sensory condition. Kim Ji-sun is a elementary school teacher who taught mindfulness or mind diary to her student. And she used the example, your mind is like a still pond. When your mind is disturbed, when some situation, it's just like somebody throw a rock inside the pond. The ripple is created. So right before the ripple is created in your mind, you can say in your mind, wow, this is a sensory condition. This is the time to practice. So lots of her students wrote a mind diary. Okay. Would you read the first two? Yeah.
A first-year elementary school student. I would like to play with Sunbin. Today I saw him play with Min-jung. I was angry. I thought it is a sensory condition. When I recognized that, I could think better. He can play with Min-jung. I could calm down. I could understand him.
Yeah, the next one.
Owing to the study of mind, 4th grade, Jamie Cho. This evening, I stepped out to buy things for tomorrow's class. Mother at that moment said, "Why on earth are you going out this late at night?" So I got furious as I held the money. My mind was like a burning forest. But in the elevator, I remembered a trying situation has arisen, and I thought to myself, maybe Mother had a reason to get mad. At that moment, my mind became calm, as if the fire in the forest was put out by rain. I was so glad.
Looking at mind very quickly, speediness is the key. So in order to bring our mind to pause, but you can create your own method based on this Dharma teaching. My first workplace was a Seoul Meditation Center. At the time, one of the students was Hwang In-sang. She became a Won Buddhist minister later. She graduated from the College of Pharmacy. After graduation, she started to work in some drug store. It's a very stressful job. She has to deal with the many difficult customers, and the boss was very irrational, etc. So she was really hoping to come to our Wednesday night meditation class to calm down her mind. And a couple of times go to the Mandaksan Retreat Center. But she understood the teaching of a timeless meditation and a placeless meditation. In our daily life, we need to learn and practice meditation when we encounter some challenging situation. Her practice start to really progress drastically. So because of that I cannot practice it, that kind of a mindset should be shifted. All kind of a favorable or unfavorable situation provide a fertile soil for our practice to bloom. So let me read finally our founding master's word. A practitioner of the way who avoids all sensory conditions and discipline his mind only in quiet places is like a person trying to catch fish who stays away from water. What effect will it have? Thus, if we are to cultivate the true way, we must learn to discipline our mind amid the thousands of sensory conditions. Only in this way would one gain the great strength that is not disturbed by such conditions. If one disciplines one's mind only in places that are free from all sensory conditions, then on coming out into such conditions, one's mind will be instantly disturbed, just as a mushroom grown in a shade will wilt when exposed to the sun. This means a practice. Thus it is said in the teaching of Vimalakya Sutra, a bodhisattva's mind is settled even in a noisy place. Non-practitioner's mind is disturbed even in a quiet place. This means that practice depends on the mind's finding its suitable measure, not on external sensory conditions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Yu. So an opportunity for practice has arrived. That's the key word that I listened to, that I got from his message. An opportunity for practice has arrived. And Essential Dharmas of Daily Practice has more detailed way to apply that teaching. Page 6. Let us recite Essential Dharmas of Daily Practice.
1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4.
Let
us replace
disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication.
5.
Let us turn resentment into gratitude.
6.
Let
Let
us
us turn
turn
dependency
into
into
self-reliance.
self-reliance. 7.
Let
Let
us
us
turn
turn reluctance to learn
into willingness to learn well.
8.
Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness
to
to teach well.
And 9.
Let us turn a lack of a
public
public spirit
into
into an
eagerness
eagerness
to serve the good of all.
all.
This morning, I am happy to introduce our residential volunteer to you. His name is Chung Won. He's Korean, but he has English name as well, Jim. So Jim will come out and briefly say hello to you.
Hi. How are you? I'm Miss Jim, and I have in two names: Jimmy, Jimbo, Jimmy, Jim. Okay. You know, all the people is I came to the Dharma center. I know people don't spend about 3 years for the
Yongsan?
Yongsan in Korea, birthplace of Buddhism, and now working a lot, so many things, you know. So I just work in the garden, or whatever field, whatever in the kitchen, everything. Oh, so headache, whole body is like sick. And after I came here in Dharma Center, I'm so happy. To, awesome, you know. So whole feeling is like crazy, you know. But I like here so good. I love this land. I love this whole Dharma Center. I love my master. Thank you.
Welcome. Wow, where did all the good lines that you prepared? So before he came to this center, he spent about 3 years in Yongsan, Korea, the birthplace of Won Buddhism. And as a volunteer, he worked mainly in the paddy field, and also he's good at weeding, he said. So we are so excited to have him here. He worked in a green tea garden in Yongsan, and also he helped in the kitchen. So he is here, and he's been here only for 3-4 days now, but we are already enjoying having him around. And I know that he is good at cooking as well. And he aspires to become a 교무님, so we'll support him to make his dream come true while he is staying with us. So I hope you get to know him better as time goes. And you know what? He has very playful spirit. Really. So welcome again. Now 3 retreats in the winter time we have. So the first one is Reverend Song's Tai Chi retreat in the last week of December. And the retreat of reset our mind, recharge our body in the second week of January. And simply meditation retreat. About a week-long retreat is scheduled in the last week of January. So please find more information on our website. Now, page 9. Morning prayer song. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the paths of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world. Have a peaceful rest of your day. We'll see you next Sunday.
When I met Venerable Jasan, the author of this book, he told a couple of things to our American members. So after 10 minutes, if you have time, we can go to the conference hall to share that story from what I heard from Venerable Jasan. Thank you.